All right, the time for talk is over. It's time to take care of some business. Yeah, we've been talking about it long enough. This had to come to a head eventually, so might as well get it over with. You know, I had an epiphany, and with all the complicated issues, at least the apparent complicated issues, all the things that are introduced into the whole Mage Templar debate to muddy things up and make it seem like it's a real hard choice. I personally like it to be simple, and once I can simplify something in my head and I can take all that stuff and kind of sum it up and then make a judgment on it, then it's much easier for me to wrap my mind around. And I was thinking, and this one simple truth really seems to sum it up, and I'll share it with you guys, let you think about it, the ramifications of it, is that the Templar Order did not cause these mages to do this. The Templar Order was created, right, as a response to what mages do. Mages were trying to destroy the world in the beginning through their actions, right? Whatever they said their motives were, their actual motives were to, well, destroy the world, to conquer it, to take it over, to rule it, to bring it into submission, to whatever, okay? Bottom line is the Templar Order was created as a response to that, okay? And so it comes down to cause and effect, right? If I see two guys hitting one another, I kind of want to know who swung first, right? Because one is an act of assault, the other is an act of self-defense, right? There's a huge difference. The action looks the same, all right? But the motive and the reason and exactly what's going on is completely different. So, you know, I'm thinking who did what first, and then it really just came down to that, and I was like, wow, this really isn't so complicated. It's really pretty simple, right? One person did, and another person is responding to it. Okay, now what's turned into these orders over time, you know, once corrupt people get involved with anything, they're going to ruin it. You know, I mean, as far as that goes. I mean, I totally get that. But initially, the Templars were created as a response to keep the mages from basically destroying the world. What was their excuse for doing it then? They didn't have Templars to blame it on. In other words, all I'm saying is that I'm looking at cause and effect. And therefore, yeah, the blame does lay at the mages' feet. In court, where judgment has to be passed on who's guilty and who's innocent. No individual Templar here, very few individual Templars can be called innocent by any means as far as that goes. But if you want to look at one group or the other and you want to say which one has the wrong of it and which one has the right, I have to say that the mages are just doing what they've always done here. And that the Templars, as misguided as they are, really unable to deal with the situation even in its purest form, right? The corrupt version of the Templars that you have here being obviously inept, right? I'm not going to argue that. But I'm saying the whole concept, right, of Templars, right, would have the right of it because mages, do they need to be leashed? That's a harsh term for an even harsher truth. Yeah, they actually do. Yeah, they actually do. The Templars wouldn't have been made in the first place is the only stopgap between life as we know it and what the mages were trying to do then and what they've essentially been trying to do ever since. So what I'm seeing is the only real mage oppression being suffered is we are getting in the way of their spoiled, rotten temper tantrum in demanding their rights to kill people unimpeded. In other words, the mages want to destroy the world. They want to kill everybody without anyone getting in their way and harassing them with things like telling them no. All right? And so when you tell them no, you can't kill everybody, then they throw a tantrum. All right? And this is the ultimate tantrum right here. This is basically where all that comes to a head. But that's really what you have here. You say, well, they've been oppressed and this and that and all the stuff going on in the Kirkville Circle. I won't deny all that, right? But the bottom line is the mages coming from elsewhere where these things aren't a problem to come for this mage rebellion and this cause. And sure enough, if it's influenced by Corypheus and stuff like that, I can see how it really caught fire and really gained momentum and why we have what we have here. But the bottom line is their whole cause, their whole fight against oppression, imprisonment, and stuff like that is just a bunch of bullshit. It's based on a fallacy. And so everything on that little foundation of sand, right? Every time the wind blows, anything resembling truth comes across, their whole argument falls to shit. Because the bottom line is they demand these rights, and the only rights they want is the right to kill everybody faster without anyone getting in their way. Bottom line. And so, now I'm not going to feel for that, and I think I would be foolish to even sympathize with that in any way, shape, or form. I'm like, you know, it's insane. They can dress it up how they want. But that's really just the bottom line, and that's what I'd like to deal with, is just bottom lines. What makes it just, what keeps it simple, you know? Who's doing what, why, and how do you stop it, right? The Templars were the only real quick fix solution they had at the time. You know, when you're talking about a problem on essentially almost a global scale, dealing with mage uprising, dealing with the threat of impending doom, right? You have to do something to stop the bloodthirsty mages from doing what they do. And they're still doing it, so they haven't changed. And I'm just calling what I see and what is, not what I'd like to be, not what, not the truths that I'm not comfortable with, but just what is, right? Not liking it doesn't make it less so. That's a quote from Morgan, who is a mage. So there you have it. Anyway, just a little food for thought right there. You know, really just summing up the whole thing and what makes the overall decision easier. And you say, yeah, but what about this individual exception to the rule? And what about that person who's not guilty of it? The 99 people around them are, but what about them? And I say, anytime that you have a war, all right, you're going to have collateral damage. That's just the way it's going to be. You know, if you fire a bullet, it may ricochet and hit someone innocent. Shit happens. But to deal with that evil asshole, right, which is why the war started in the first place, you may lose some innocence in the process, but nothing like the innocence you're going to lose if you leave that asshole alone. If you try to find a peaceable solution to something that can't be resolved peaceably, okay, then what you're going to have is a lot more people dying as a result by letting that person flourish. Okay, so you have to exterminate them. You have to. This right here, this whole annulment thing is absolutely necessary. From Orsino on down, they're corrupt. If there's an exception or two, that is a casualty. If that's a shame, the mages shouldn't have been doing this shit in the first place. Well, it's just in response to the Templars. Why were the Templars here? Because of what mages did in the first place. That the Templars eventually became misguided still doesn't justify or validate the mages in their cause. That's what I'm saying. Man, you can stop that blood magic bullshit over here right now. Yeah, I'll holler at you. Being a typical ass mage. Okay, enough of that, dude.
Have mercy, we beg you.
Here's an example of collateral.
Do what you want with us, but let us live.
No.
This circle is beyond redemption.
You live, people die later. You die now, people don't die later. Easy.
It requires my word, Cullen. Do as I've commanded.
Champion, will you not defend us? Must we all be slaughtered for the actions of a few?
I want to hear what the Knight Captain has to say.
The right has always been a last resort, when every mage involved was beyond salvation. The situation was far more dire in Ferelden's circle, and yet many mages were saved. We could still do as much here.
Objection noted, Captain.
Is there a way to tell if they're blood mages?
There is not.
But they haven't resorted to it, even to save their own lives. Perhaps if we watch them carefully,
They're doing it now to
If
save
they
their
hope
own
to
lives.
escape by playing innocent, will you accept that responsibility, Cullen?
Yes. I believe that's what being a Templar is about.
Then you're misguided, dude.
And I say we are here to protect the people. We must be judges, jailers, and even executioners.
She may like the power too much, but she's still right.
Maybe they can answer some questions.
I think the first enchanter is still in the tower. He said he had a plan, something that would stop you.
Demons, or something worse?
I don't know. We wanted nothing to do with it, so we ran. Please, help us. We've done nothing wrong.
There's no point in stopping now, is there?
Perhaps you're right. Do as the champion commands.
I don't know where I became a commander in any of this. And then I'm calling it Meredith's way too. Bad writing right there. But bottom line is, the right thing needs to be done. We're supposed to feel all pitiful. Their victims, who they kill to bind their demons, have that same look on their face. When you're taking their lives so that you can bind a demon so you can kill more people faster. Oh, and I'm supposed to feel bad here. This is the same people who sob and cry when a serial killer who's killed, raped, and eaten several children is put to death on the executioner tables. You have people standing along the road with their picket signs, basically telling the victims that they're shit and this animal needs to be defended. No, you put that rabid dog out of its... Make the world a better place. I promise you it won't do that again if it's dead. That's the only way to stop that. Sorry. Well, someday medicine might find a way to fix it. Yeah, how many victims got to die as a cost for you saving this one monster's life? That's a whole lot of effort put into defending the monsters and trying to redeem the monsters, and not a finger lifted to help the victims. All right, so everyone's standing there with their picket signs. They need the same thing because they're standing with it. They're supporting that. They're guilty of it too. Does that sound harsh? Well, look at our society. Pretty harsh world that our society's created in their quote-unquote merciful thinking. Sorry. Bad judgment. Very, very bad judgment. And a lot of people have paid for that and will continue to do so. Because basically these kind of monsters think they have permission. Well, it's no different with these mages here. When you sympathize, innocent people die. That's the result. I think there's a way to get to that. I mean, if I just sprint through, I'm going to take damage regardless. Well, my followers are probably going to get stuck in here too, but oh well. There's no certain blocks that you can step on? Oh, screw it. Just give me that, whatever it is. I don't care. I'm just curious, if nothing else. I hope we don't get stuck in a loop of dying and taking damage. Come on, just get out of the fire. Seriously. Okay, that's just a cluster right there. And this is reminiscent of Origins, where we see some of the Templars having been seduced or brought under the power of a desire demon. There's a whole room full of nothing but blood mages.
Nothing to worry about. I'm sorry, I can't. Never fear, Eric is here.
Thing I've noticed about this whole area is they've packed so many enemies into a small area that basically anything you do anywhere triggers combat everywhere basically in this whole area. So sometimes like see this right here, this is just a bad spawn. Why is this one Templar all the way out here? Unless he chased my dog out here or something, I don't know. Whatever, but yeah, it seems like combat gets triggered and sometimes combat continues and you can't, okay, now we see Sandal's handiwork here. These are major demons that he's taken out by himself just so he can set up shop. How awesome is that? Telling you, this dude is, we need him in our party. Screw the rest. Just me and Sandal conquering the world. And he certainly seems to have a habit of taking out the bad guys. I just have a bunch of stuff. You know, sacrificial dagger. I'm going to start a character. Apparently that dagger depends on what level you are when you get it. That dictates how strong it is. Like if you get it at, I don't know, say like level 10 or something, which I doubt you would, depending on when you go. But let's just say, you know, 10 or 15 or something, it would only have like, oh, I don't know, 20 damage or 25 damage or whatever, something particular or common to your level with other randomly generated items. But I think when I got it, I'd have to go back and look, but I think it's like 40 something. Of course, we were in the 20s. We were pretty much at end game level when we got it, so it was ranked up there with, you know, the high damage daggers that you would get at that level. And so the one that matches it, which is the Shard of the Fallen that you can buy in the Black Emporium, they're matching. And I think that dagger looks so cool. I'd like to run through with the matching set, and I figure out what level to get it at, to where the damage is roughly the same. I think the Shard of the Fallen is like 32 damage or something. But it's a shame because kind of have to wait to have the daggers. I hate getting the really cool looking gear at the end of the game. You don't get to spend the, you know, the greater portion of the game enjoying your stuff, you know. I want to run around looking cool. I don't want to run around for 99 hours looking like an idiot and then spend the last hour of the game looking cool. I want to spend most of the game looking cool, you know. I would like to really target this guy. There we go. He's the biggest threat. Still don't have a healer, and that's what makes this the whole barracks here really, really nasty. All right, get some unique items here. Yeah, anything that has a codex attached to it is a unique item. There's something to be said for some of these random generated daggers too, or any kind of weapon for that matter at the end, especially if there's a superior version, like a superior dwarven dagger, superior great sword or whatever. Some of those are as strong, if not stronger, than some of your unique items. They may not have one or two special benefits that one of the other ones have. One may give you a bunch of health. Another one, for the warriors especially, really good is the ones that give you a huge stamina boost, you know. Those are really cool, but overall, just the random generated stuff isn't all that bad. You can get by with it, especially once you have all your skills in place and you're in a much higher level, and you're already pretty potent as it is. Some of those are actually worth considering. Look at all the XP for that. Basically 2 versions of that same demon we fought with the 1,000 shades down there by the docks. Or Lowtown or where, yeah, I think it was the docks. But I think it was the number of shades that come with that first demon that actually made it harder. These 2 guys, not so bad. It's a little smaller area, that AoE stuff, but if you have a lot of spirit resistance here, it's not that big of a deal. They don't do so much damage over time that and notice we got through it without a healer, so it's definitely doable. Alright, trying to be somewhat thorough, I did want to clear out, for the most part, this part of the gallows here. And here shortly we'll be getting to the first of two boss battles in game, and they're both nice ones. They're both good ones. Nothing like that Elder One travesty at the end of Inquisition. That wasn't even a boss fight. It was, in fact, honestly, he was easier than most giants that I fought in the game. Yeah, to be honest. Anyway, whatever. I'm gonna have to assume that was done on purpose, because there's no way you could just get that lazy on an end boss fight unless you were trying to make a point. And I think stressing the Elder One's actual weakness was something of an issue. I did get hints of that in the game. Is that his pride and his power was really in his own mind. And then aside from some cheap magic tricks and a lot of mental persuasion, he was overall pretty weak.
Nothing to worry about. Never fear.
He's still around here somewhere. There he is. Alright, money that I'm never going to spend. But I gotta have it just because it's there.
Just as I suspected all along.
Yep.
Willing sacrifices. Men and women who would have died at your hands anyhow.
So you murdered them instead, huh? That's your justification.
The irony is that until this very moment, I have never used
That's a
blood
lie.
magic.
That's a lie. I know that's a
Do
lie.
you take me for a fool? One does not summon such a ritual from thin air.
Exactly.
The right belonged to Quentin, a man the champion is familiar with.
Confess then,
I put
bitch.
aside his research
That's the one who
as
killed our
too
mother.
dangerous. But things have changed.
But that's a lie too, because he was supporting Quentin and even sent him books to further his studies. So we know he's lying through his teeth now.
I knew about him. I kept his existence secret because I didn't want to give Meredith more ammunition against us.
You helped him and supported him.
But you
Liar?
could have stopped
Hypocrite?
him. You could have saved her.
I'm sorry, my dear. I didn't know the extent of his derangement until it
Look
was
at this
too
dude
late.
lying.
The Maker has
He's
guided
incapable
us
of
here to
truth.
end your
No, he's
evil,
always been a
Orsino.
blood mage. He's been working with the blood mages all along
The
anyway. You
Maker
find that
has
out through the
guided
game.
you all to your deaths.
No! You said she wouldn't be hurt.
Just a piece of shit.
I'm sorry, child, but true justice demands sacrifice.
True
from us all.
justice? So screwed in your head, dude. You're fixing to see exactly what you are spiritually. We're fixing to see it. Before you were ever even a blood mage. Unless you've just always been one. Okay, so I think this is another one of those that you see in the Awakening DLC and Origins? A Harvester? I believe that's where you find one of these. It's been a long time. If this is something of the same thing. There may be some relevance as to Orsino turning into this specifically, too. I think that kind of gives a link to Origins. Oh, that's not good. I got a healer now. Well, actually, I'm not sure if I do or not. I'm thinking maybe Bethany is providing healing support. I don't know. All I know is we're kicking this dude's ass. That's all that really matters. Sometimes when you see him appear to get slightly confused, it has a lot to do with status effects affecting him, everything from disorient to, who knows, stun to what have you. Some of those status effects, when they come out of them, like, I think it's like stun, maybe even stagger, I don't know, maybe even disorient, they will change their targets when they come out of them because they'll forget who they were attacking in the first place. There's certain conditions which those status effects bring about, and sometimes you'll see that, and it'll play a huge part in turning a fight in your favor, especially with much stronger enemies like this. Felt that. I got the extra damage because he was brittle. Yeah, this guy needs to go. Yeah, that guy needs to go. Okay, so I guess each time you see a little bit of blood fly out of this thing, he's absorbing it so he can take his next form and attack us again, or something like that. I think that's what we're seeing. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Oh, okay. The reason he left again so quick is we did so much damage to him on the first one. We basically ran him through 2 whole, what would you say, phases. Notice they're really big about putting phases into their boss fights. Like, you know, phase 1 it'll be such and such, and phase 2 maybe you'll get some additional enemies, then phase 3 some new thing. I'm surprised in this one there's not 2 or 3 arcane horrors instead of just 1, or a couple frost horrors this time. Maybe a pride demon, you know, that type of thing. We've got haste. Okay, so that's Bethany over there providing support. Okay, I think this is the last time he does this. What's he swinging at us? Now it's just a matter of hacking away at a big piece of meat until it finally dies. Oh wow, that's disgusting. Is he drawing health from us or just doing damage? Not sure. His health pool is so big on Nightmare that honestly, he could get back a couple thousand hit points from something, and you really wouldn't be able to see it on his health bar. I'm hitting him for, what, 200-300 a hit, and it's barely moving. You see it flashing white because I'm hitting him for criticals, but you can just barely see it even move. Anyway. Good riddance. That's from my mother, you piece of shit. You're just as responsible. Even more for every other mage that's ever done an abomination like that. Responsible for that too.
I can't believe it. How could he do this?
Such is the curse that you carry. Difficult as it may be to accept.
Your insanity drove him to
Oh,
this.
come on, Bethany.
I will not argue with you, mage. My purpose here is clear.
And I'm just one more abomination to be dealt with. Yes, I see what comes next.
Back away from her, Meredith.
I see. Have it your way, then. I will meet you in the courtyard, champion.
Thank you. I don't know if I deserve your help.
You don't think I could lose you too?
She definitely fought against him and didn't
What
use
a
any blood
waste.
magic to do it. And if you look on her skill tree, she doesn't have blood magic either, so... Alright. Sorry, Varric. I don't think we're picking any more locks anyway. Which I can pick locks myself, but still. Actually, it's a good thing I can pick locks, because if I was playing a warrior right there, we just missed that chest, huh? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Honestly, this as soon as we leave this room, this is the last fight. And then this will be it.
Magic is a cancer in the heart of our land, just as it was in the time of Andraste. And like her, we are left with no choice but to purify it with fire and blood.
You got what you wanted. It's done.
Not quite. I am beginning to wonder just how large your part in all this actually was.
This is no longer Meredith
A
speaking.
refugee come to our city with an apostate sister, gathering power and influence without any accounting. How can I trust that the mighty champion of Kirkwall is not a worse threat to this city than the Circle?
Now that we're done helping her do what she couldn't do by
If you want
herself.
to see a threat to this city, look in the mirror.
Just the sort of misdirection I would expect from you. The people of Kirkwall will mourn your loss, but I will tell them you died battling the mages. A righteous cause.
Knight Commander, I thought we intended to arrest...
Oh,
the
did you
champion.
really, Cullen? You weren't going to share that with us?
You will do as I command, Cullen.
No. I defended you when Thrask started whispering you were mad. But this is too far.
I will not allow insubordination. We must stay true to our path.
And there's our red lyrium.
You recognize it, do you not? Your lyrium, taken from the deep roads. The dwarf charged a great deal for his prize.
Hmm.
The idol poisoned Bartran's mind in the end.
He was weak, whereas I am not.
Well, that's the red lyrium talking there, too. Pride?
All of
Yep.
you! I want her dead!
Enough!
I want that sword.
This is not what the order stands for. Knight Commander, step down. I relieve you of your command.
My own knight captain falls prey to the influence of blood magic.
Yeah, I don't know if that paranoia is her or that sword, though.
To control your
Like-
minds, to turn you against me.
Before that, was she
Don't
crazy?
need any of
Not
you.
necessarily.
I will protect this city myself.
I think she was dirty, though. I think her whole power thing and running all the
You'll
cartels
have to go
and
through me.
smugglers and stuff in town and all the dirty merchants and
Just
stuff.
like all
She already had her hand in
others.
things that Templars have no business controlling.
Blessed are those who stand before the corrupt and the wicked, and do not falter.
Okay, so she's a zealot empowered by red lyrium. Well, that's a dangerous combination. Okay, I don't know how you're supposed to avoid that. Oh, wow. Her whirlwind is about 50 meters across. That's not good. At least we can do some decent damage to her. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stay away from her on a lot of that. Stick and move. Stick and move. Yeah, okay. It's been a long time since I've done this fight, tell you the truth. Okay, well, I'm going to trust my mages to stay their distance more often than not. And that was the end of phase 1, but now it's on. Wow, her eyes are glowing like justice. So that's the effect that the red lyrium has. Huh. Is it simply just whatever is controlling Corypheus is controlling you too? And the lyrium is like a conduit type of thing? Now we're getting into Mass Effect words here, but just looking. That animation wasn't accidental. That was definitely put there on purpose. So, I don't know. Now we get to fight these very cool things. And, ouch. I'm not sure what these big old guys are weak or immune to. They can be stunned and paralyzed and petrified and all that, though. I see that. Yeah, it looks like they're weak to cold, because... yeah, it looks like we're getting some bonus damage. Ouch. Big old bitch. Now, does she come down again? Yeah, there she is. Ouch. Yeah, I knew that was coming. I had to pay for that. Let my dog in on the action, right? Why not? Wow. Hit the shit out of Bethany. We're leveled up high now. We have really a decent armor rating. We really do. I remember Meredith, the first time I ever fought her, she's doing a little more damage than that. And we had decent gear and all that. We had good defense. Spirit defense, I think, is the best thing here. I think she does extra spirit damage with her sword. I'm not positive about that, but I think so. Looks like just staying behind this guy for the most part is the key. That, ow. Okay, well that wasn't cool. I took every one of those to the face, I think. You keep reanimating? Is that the case, or are they end? I wonder if these guys are endless till you get this big guy down or something like that. I believe in the last phase, like all this is kind of going at once or something. I don't know. They're like a distraction. Oh, I totally forgot about that move too. Yeah, spirit defense. This really is where it comes in handy. I'm 99% sure that's the damage she's doing. I don't think that's lightning. I believe it's spirit. And anyway, we've got plenty of that on our stuff. Plus, I believe everything here is weak to cold too, for the most part. And that wasn't polite. She could be doing a whole lot worse than damage than even that. She gets one of those off at just the right time, she could take the party out type of thing. And aside from those grenades, which I don't have any of anyway, that help you revive, I have no way to get anybody back up. Her health pool is so huge that getting her down to where like you're left with just Aveline or something. Well, at least you can escape that. Some of those lightning spells, once they lock onto you, it doesn't matter where you go. You get hit with it regardless. Like that one stupid secret boss in Legacy. That dragon mage thing. Okay, I'm thinking I'm going to need to do damage to Meredith because these guys seem to just be endless. Yeah, I don't need them clicking on my mage over here, though. Which is what they'll do, apparently. How'd that feel, bitch? Now what? Robot turtles? Wow. Oh, that shoot cannons at you? Oh, that's awesome. Okay, I don't know if I did much in this way of fire defense. These guys need to go. Okay, that is a lot of dead robots and statues on the ground here. Like, a lot. Look at this clutter. There she is. I think we get to finish her off now. Well, at least I hope so. So she had like 4 or 5 phases. Yeah, I don't think I can take that hit to it. Yeah.
It's not enough that they make innocents suffer. No.
Yeah, I think when she starts talking, then it's time to end it.
Give them freedom, and they will use it to tear down.
Look at her defense rating. Look at all those glancing blows.
I will stop it. Do you hear me, champion? I will defeat you.
Finally.
I will not be defeated. Make her hate your humble servant.
Yeah. Here's the aid you get from the maker. Shut up. That was a cool piece of art right there, though. Okay, so those corrupted by red lyrium can become red lyrium? We saw it being kind of like harvested in people for the Red Templars. What are we gonna have to do? Kill all of them? Seriously. You're thinking about arresting me, though, kind of behind my back, Colin? Maybe I'll remember that. asshole. All right, people.
Word of the slaughter spread quickly. The champion's name became a rallying cry for all mages, a reminder of their brutal oppression. She had shown not only what the Templars were willing to do, but that they could be defied. The circles rose up and set the world on fire. Here at home, the city all but got down on its hands and knees and begged the champion to rule. As for the rest of us, eventually we all left the champion's side for one reason or another. Well, all of us except for Meryl. You still hear the stories, of course. With each telling they grow, even if at the core remains the truth. A new legend had been born. So that's it. That's the whole story.
Then Meredith turned on the champion. She was to blame.
Or that damned idol was. Or Anders. Take your pick.
Even so, had the champion not been there...
Then I suppose Meredith would be ruling the city still.
But the champion is not in Kirkwall any longer.
So I hear. Isn't it strange how quickly fortunes change?
I see.
So how is hearing all this going to help? You've already lost all the circles. In fact, haven't the Templars rebelled as well? I thought you decided to abandon the Chantry to hunt the mages.
Not all of us desire war, Varric. Please, if you know where the champion is, you must tell me. She is a hero. A woman that the Templars respect. Someone who was there at the beginning. The champion could stop this madness before it's too late. She may be the only one who can.
Is that what this is all about? In that case, I wish I could help you.
Just tell me one thing, then. Is the champion dead?
Though, I doubt that.
Then you are free to go, Varric. May the Maker watch over you during the dark times ahead of us.
Same to you, Seeker. Same to you.
So that's where Varric made his decision not to throw Hawk into the pyre and include Hawk again in more of their drama, which is unavoidable.
So, did you...
Gone. Just like the Warden.
That is no coincidence.
So, do we proceed with the original plan? Or keep looking?
It is in the Maker's hands now. We put our faith in him.
All right, thanks for watching, people. If you stayed with it the whole time, I really appreciate it. If you want to subscribe, click that button up top. If you want to catch this Let's Play or any other parts of it, click that image there in the middle. All right, until the next one, I will catch you guys later. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.